I believe Seth Rollins injured Finn Balor with a concussion, which will be bad for WWE. It's not a good sign when at the end of the night you just see something like Colin Anderson and Luke Gallows trying to pick up and help Finn Balor up, and he's like not having any good with his injury. He looked like he was legitimately hurt. On another injury news, with more injuries coming and coming and coming, I don't know if it's storyline. It probably is, but Nia Jax looked like she got really messed up with her knee during her match with Asuka. She got put in a knee bar, and way she ended up getting throwing Asuka outside. She threw Asuka against the apron. Then she wanted to go drag Asuka up, but stepped into the on the ring onto the steps. Asuka kicked her leg from underneath her, and she landed on the steps hard. You could just the scream that Nia Jax let out was just deafening, and it didn't help that when after that she fell over and like had her legs still snapped, like caught between. So that wasn't pretty. And we saw the Revival too, and they cut one of the best promos of the year. I will let you guys hear that. They do have it on WWE's YouTube page, so that is going to be something you're going to look forward to. The show started off, we saw some highlights of what happened over the last 2 weeks of Braun Strowman and Kane and Brock Lesnar for their title match at the Royal Rumble. And if Kurt Angle had his way, it was not going to be a triple threat match anymore. Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman starts off the show tonight, something to say about his title match, and then he gets interrupted by Kurt Angle, who has a message for Braun Strowman that he really doesn't want to say himself, but he feels like he has no choice.
All a short story. A short story with a happy ending. You see, a beast and a machine met a monster at the Royal Rumble. And the last one standing was the monster among men. And he became the new Universal Champion.
You could have maimed Brock Lesnar and Kane last week for life.
But he didn't. He just pulled a lighting truss, as they call it, down over them with stuff over top of them. So he really didn't do anything to him. And as I said last week, that entire spot was 100% lame as can be. It was like, let's see what we can have Braun Strowman show off some of his feat of being a monster among men. And later in this first hour, they show that off again, which it's like they don't need to do it anymore. It's just getting repetitive and boring.
You put lives in danger, and that is unacceptable.
It could have been a lot worse.
Listen, Braun, you create an unsafe working environment. I'm in charge of every WWE superstar and every backstage employee. What if they get caught in the crossfire?
I look at it this way. You do your job. I did mine last week.
But that's the point. That's the point. You didn't do your job. We settle things in the ring. Not backstage with some grappling hook.
I do what I want, when I want, and how I want. If I want to walk into Suplex City and rip the walls down, that's what I'll do. If I want to kick the door into hell, that's what I'll do. And at the Royal Rumble, if I want to be Universal Champion, I will.
You're just lucky that Brock and Kane are still able to compete in the championship match. But unfortunately, it's not going to be a triple threat match anymore. As a matter of fact, You're not going to compete at all. Braun Strowman, you're fired.
And that happened to be the worst mistake of his of Kurt Angle's tenure as the Raw General Manager, because Braun Strowman did what Braun Strowman would always do and wreak havoc all night long. They pretty much all in the first hour. The first hour was pretty much just dedicated to Braun Strowman destroying people and wrecking havoc. And towards the end of the first hour, he lifted. We'll get to it, but he lifts a truck off the ground and flips it over, which I do not buy.
Just leave, bro. Just leave, bro.
Just calm down. Calm down, bro. Come on, man.
You just gotta go now.
You gotta leave. Oh, God! Oh, ah! Fire me! Fire me! I'll rest everybody in here! I'm not finished yet! I'm not leaving till everybody gets these hands!
He comes to Kurt Angle's office, and nobody's there. He kicks the door down. He grabs a bunch of furniture, throws it at the TV, at a couple posters or pictures. Destroys the TV, destroys a couple paintings. Left one on the wall. Wonder what's so special about that painting. This is the best part. He comes to catering. I don't know if that was Kalisto or what, who was sitting there beside Kurt Hawkins, but they're like, they don't know what's going on. In comes Braun Strowman. He flips the table, flips the other table, goes over, grabs Kurt Hawkins, goozles him, chokeslams him through the table. I don't think Braun Strowman liked the catering that Kevin Dunn put out for the night. So, yeah, that was a good moment right there. Gets close to leaving. There's this guy with a white dude with a white shirt on, with I think tan pants and a blue apron, holding this tray, this like round dish of chocolate cake. With the like this guy could play poker, because this guy has such a straight face on, not showing any fear whatsoever. If this guy ain't pissing his pants during this segment, then this guy's got some nerves of steel. Braun Strowman just grabs a thing of cake, takes a bite, and he's on his way. This guy, I don't know, that guy just, he's just standing there, nerves of, that guy's got some nerves of steel, or he needs new pants. Braun starts throwing around some furniture, grabs a dumpster and just tosses it a little bit ways, scaring some of the people around. Get this out of the way, and he just keeps going. Later in the first hour, he gets to TV production, and saying Braun Strowman wrecked some havoc and scared some people is an understatement because this dude like scared everybody. What happened pretty much was like we came back after I think a match or something. Kurt Angle was in the back watching his people clean his office. A referee, I can't remember which one it is, comes in, says Braun Strowman's coming to the production area. Oh my God, those are worth $12 million or whatever. And Braun Strowman just gets to production, says you're gonna fire me, well I'm gonna wreak some havoc. Actually gets into the production truck, which last time we saw the production inside the production truck, I'm sure they didn't have this kind of technology. Trying to find something to shut down Monday Night Raw, which on most weeks I wish he would. Like, quite honestly, I wish he would shut down Monday Night Raw most of the time because of how bad it was. This was a great first hour just because of this. This was the best part of the show, was just him destroying and making all life hell. Tells everybody to get out of the main station or that. Says he's gonna shut everything down. Then he just ups and walks away, goes out and just leaves. You think Braun Strowman's gone? Okay, those jobs are safe. Everyone else is just like, okay, yeah, I think he's gone. Everyone tries to get back to the stations because they got a show to run. Which this I will say about this shows how much WWE Raw and SmackDown and all these other shows are produced. How many people it actually takes to produce these shows, from the graphics to the pyros, if they would have had pyro, to everything else. So I commend them for like all those people who work hard, who don't ever get any credit for how WWE Raw and SmackDown and all the pay-per-views in NXT also go. All of a sudden, like, everyone's trying to get back to their job, and all of a sudden, the camera starts shaking, and it looked like an earthquake hit. We come outside, and they show Braun Strowman in the back of in the truck, the tractor part of the truck. He disconnected it somehow from the actual production truck. He starts to try to lift it. Kurt tells him he called the cops and you need to get out of here. All of a sudden, Kurt Angle's phone starts to ring. He has that look on his face like, oh, great. But before he can answer the phone, Braun Strowman comes back and grabs the pickup truck and just the tractor part and just starts pulling, which I don't buy that he did this by himself. I didn't buy the ambulance. I don't buy this either. But he picks it up and he just tosses it over. They actually did a shot above it, so it's like, hey, look, he did this by himself, which I still don't buy. He screams and yells, kicks a couple things, and then he heads off to the to the front, to the stage. Which, oh boy, was this great. So, yeah, Braun Strowman made the first hour fun to watch. See, this is what it's great when you have something that's fun to watch. It's great to watch. Other than this, like, Monday Night Raw after the first hour was just until that last match, which we'll talk about that when we get there. He gets up here. He comes from the side instead of from Gorilla. He actually comes from the side. He stops at the he like I thought he was gonna go down to the ring. He stops at the intersection before the ramp, looks over at the commentary's desk. Booker T and Corey Graves get out of there. Michael Cole himself actually falls. He's trying to crawl away, and Braun Strowman actually picks him up by his belt and drags him. Belt and jacket, belt, pants, and shirt, and drags him. And then grabs him by the arm, or grabs him and tries to lift him up like he's gonna do something to him. Looks like he's about ready to really hurt him. Kurt Angle comes running in.
Stephanie McMahon just called and she has rehired you. So you're not fired. Okay, you're not fired. You're still in the championship match. Just let Michael Cole go.
Braun Strowman goes to leave. Michael Cole is crawling that way. I don't think he was meaning to, but of course it's just for the thing. Braun Strowman sees him crawling towards him. Michael Cole looks up and is like, lays his hands up, like, don't do it, man, don't do it. I ain't done nothing to you. Strowman grabs Cole and just runs with him and throws him into a pile of security. And that is the last time you will see Michael Cole on this night, which, in my opinion, made the show feel a little bit better, though. So, we come back from break, which I'm pretty sure we'll hear from Stephanie McMahon next week. It is Raw 25. So we're going to hear from Stephanie next week. And she's probably we'll probably see this will be the last time we see Kurt Angle actually being in charge of Monday Night Raw, because he just let Braun Strowman run wild. So that was pretty much the highlights of the first hour right there. You had Braun Strowman wrecking havoc all over the place, from the production area to the backstage area to Kevin Dunn's catering specials. You know, he probably didn't like the chopped beef that he had earlier in the night. He just put Kurt Hawkins. But hey, as people were saying on Twitter, Braun Strowman, you want to silence Braun Strowman? Hand him cake. He took some cake and he left. So if you want to know how to beat a monster among men, give him some cake. That's all you need to do. The rest of the first hour was you had Titus Worldwide versus The Bar. Titus Worldwide ends up picking up the win when Jason Jordan comes out while after the Bar hits a double clothesline on to Apollo Crews. They look like they're going to go for a white noise off the top, a white noise / move off the top rope from Cesaro. Jason Jordan's music hits. He comes in. He comes out to the stage. That distracts the Bar. Titus O'Neil knocks over Cesaro off the apron. And Apollo Crews rolls up Sheamus for the win. New winners of Titus Worldwide. Are these guys going to get a title match in the near future? I don't know. But that was the opening match. Post-match, Jason Jordan's up at the top with that goofy smile on his face. Seth Rollins comes out, not happy with how he's doing things. So, little tension between these two still. We'll see how that goes towards the end of the night. Let's see here. We have Enzo Amore comes out. He has his leg taped. He's limping. I would have bought it more if he's actually injured, if it wasn't for the fact that in that video they showed of him running into Nia Jax, but Nia getting pulled away from him by Alexa Bliss, he looked fine there. So I don't know if they're playing it for the TV or what. He says he's doing better than Hawkins does. Called himself a monster as well, and says he may be walking into the Rumble stitched up and taped up, but he will be walking out as champion. If he's Frankenstein, then Cedric is out. Then Cedric Alexander is Dracula because he sucks. Says Cedric will have to get to Tony Nese and come out on the other side if he wants to even get to the Royal Rumble. Out comes Cedric Alexander and Goldust. I still don't know where this is going with Goldust as being part of the Cruiserweight division. If this is Vince McMahon's idea of getting people to watch 205 Live. Oh, Goldust is on 205 Live. Let me see what's going on. You're sadly mistaken, Vince. Goldust was in his 40s, maybe early 50s. Dude isn't even close to a cruiserweight, and you're going to sit there and you expect me to actually want to watch 205 Live because Goldust is on there? That's funny, Vince. Goldust calls Cedric a blockbuster and says that after Rumble, so there will only be one thing they can call Cedric, and that is champion. Cedric says after everything that's happened to Enzo, there's only one word for him. Spells out soft that enrages Enzo, and they have the match between Cedric Alexander and Tony Nese. The match between Cedric Alexander and Enzo for the title will be at the Royal Rumble after last week's injury to Enzo Amore, who had his first 2 weeks of the first 2 weeks of the year. The first 2 weeks of the year not start off really well. So better week for him so far. Probably not, because Cedric Alexander wins this match with a lumbar check. Halfway through the match, Enzo's barking at Tony Nese to actually, he's like pretty much barking orders to Tony Nese. Goldust walks up behind him, does his little like thing or whatever he does, that little mouth thing he does, scaring Enzo and then mocking him. This match though, this was a pretty good match between him and Tony Nese. It's nice to see when the cruiserweights actually get a chance to show what they can do. Cedric Alexander, of course, in this match, showing why he needs to beat Enzo at the Royal Rumble and be the Cruiserweight Champion, because he put on a stellar show here. Wins with a lumbar check after blocking a pump handle, turning into a lumbar for a 3 count, and Cedric wins. Let's see here. I think that was the end of the first hour. Second hour, we start off with Nia Jax versus Asuka. It was a funny thing because Asuka's coming out and she has her big fancy robe on, and as you notice in the back of her robe, she's caught on the curtain. So she actually literally had to stand there and like turn around and pull herself off of the curtain. She actually I think got stuck again and had to go go to the back end. It was a pretty funny scene. Asuka got some offense early, got that octopus stretch, I believe what it is, on Nia at the beginning, made it look really good. Then Nia took over for most of the match. She had her in a bear hug. Asuka did get her in a triangle choke, but Nia gets out of that by throwing Asuka into the turnbuckle. She did get her in that bear hug. Asuka gets out of that. Nia goes to sit down because Asuka went for a sunset flip, but of course Nia being, it's that classic old small person versus big person move, sunset flip, trying to pull them down, and then they sit down on you, or you move and they sit down. In this case, Nia misses with the sitting down, gets hit with a Shining Wizard by Asuka. I think that's what it was. Booker T this entire match was just like going back and forth. Oh, Nia's gonna win this match. Nia's gonna beat this undefeated streak. Oh, Asuka's been this isn't a fluke, and he's like, Booker T, I swear, sometimes drinks some alcohol or something, or smokes a lot of weed before this show, because this guy is like a belligerent drunk half the night. Nia goes for a Samoa drop, Asuka gets out of it, rolls her up for a 2 count, kicks by Asuka. Nia stops that and does that power bomb. That she grabs her, pulls her up, and hits a power bomb. Could not get the pin right away. Towards the end of this match, falls over onto the ropes. Gets only a 2 count. Knee bar by Asuka, which was a big proponent to the end of this match. Knee bar by Asuka, but Nia gets to the ropes. Nia grabs Asuka and tosses her to the outside. She heads outside and tosses Asuka into the apron. The end of the apron. Nia is taking her time, trying to gloat about causing Asuka pain. The match ends pretty much when Asuka kicks Nia's leg as Nia is walking up the steps. Nia just falls straight down, and with the size of her and that weight just going down, that just had to hurt. Asuka gets back in. Nia gets back in at the 9 count, trying to put weight on the knee. I honestly think she is definitely hurt. This did not look like a sell job. She literally looked like she had what happened to Big Cass a couple months ago, where she really messed her knee up. I don't know exactly if it's a work or not, but usually they wouldn't just stop the match. They would have a definitive winner. So Asuka won the match due to referee stoppage because Nia couldn't continue. Post match, you saw a big reason I think this was not a work is because they had officials come out, and Alexa Bliss came out too to check on Nia Jax. So I'm hoping it's a fake injury, but if not, then that's just another blow to this Women's Royal Rumble match. And if she is injured for real, then this is just a bad omen, because that's Paige and Nia Jax both out of the Women's Royal Rumble match. So I'm hoping it's fake. I will have more of that tomorrow, hopefully. But but looking good for the Women's Royal Rumble if you see Paige out and Asuka and Nia Jax out. Then in the back we had Nia Jax. After this match, they had her just in the locker room with ice on her knee. Alexa Bliss was going completely crazy, wondering, she's feeling sorry for that she got her in this match, and I thought she could do something, like she could actually destroy Asuka, but she must have been wrong. In comes Enzo. Enzo's trying to, is feeling bad about about Nia Jax getting injured. Alexa tries to send Enzo away. Nia Jax says, nah, he's got this, and she goes away not happy. In the back and after that we have Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan. Kurt Angle still not, in the right state of mind after everything that Braun Strowman just put him through. Jason Jordan comes in and talking about how he wants to thank Kurt Angle for believing in him, for bringing him to Monday Night Raw, and giving him a chance at the WWE title. He then wants to help his tag team partner, and he still keeps talking on the behalf of Seth Rollins, and Seth is not really happy about that, and we'll get to that later. Jason wants a match for Seth, and he wants Finn Balor to be his opponent because of Seth Rollins losing last week, and Kurt Angle agrees with it. So we have, for the main event, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, which, of course, if anybody does remember, from 2016 in August, that was the first ever Universal title match to crown the inaugural Universal Champion, won by Finn Balor, who was also injured that night. Tom Funless gives us an update on Michael Cole, saying he is shaken up and that none of this should have happened to anybody at all. Corey Graves does say that he might be out of line, but he says that Stephanie McMahon made a mistake for rehiring Braun Strowman, and they show the yearly package of Dr. King. The Revival versus Local Jobbers. Now this was great. Not the match, what happened after the match. These guys, I hope they're over their snake bitness. Hopefully the injuries are done for these guys. Hopefully we will see them more often on WWE TV. But this promo was by far the promo of the night. And I just hope these guys will be able to do something.
Finally, you want to give the Revival a live mic on national television in front of millions of people. Because if that's the case, bring it a little closer. What you just witnessed was tag team excellence, a clinic in tag team wrestling. And that's something that's been missing here for quite some time, because too many guys are worried about running to the back and playing video games with their friends, or checking their Instagram for the amount of likes they got on a picture, but not dashing myself. We are students of this game. All we're worried about is punishing our opponents, mastering holds, and winning matches. That's it.
Okay, well, since you are such students of the game, which old school legends are you most excited to meet next week at the Raw 25th anniversary show? The New Age Outlaws? Shawn Michaels? Maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Old school. Those guys, old school. There is absolutely nothing old school about beer bats and crotch chops. Those are the reasons that this business, our business, has become a mockery. See, we're not sports entertainers. We are professional wrestlers.
Exactly. And look, hey, we're not a creation of the WWE boardroom. We're as real as it gets. And look, they know it. They know it. And they don't want us to succeed here, okay? Because if they try to change who we are, we ain't gonna let it happen. They will not change who we are. Next week, Raw 25, live. There are gonna be a ton of superstars and entertainers from around the globe. But this is our universe. And there's only one team that's gonna set the tone for Monday Night Raw for the next 25 years, and Jack, you're looking at them.
These guys ain't gonna slow down.
That is 100% the God honest truth. What came out of their mouths. They are not sports entertainers. They are professional wrestlers. The fact that that was even uttered on WWE TV was just a shock to me. Those two just are going to be great for us to see. Hopefully they will be better, and hopefully it will be better and will not be injured again. Those two should be tag team champions for a long time coming out of WrestleMania, in my opinion. Those two just put on the promo of the night. Yes, and it was great for the Attitude Era, but the beer bats, the crotch chops, all that stuff has hurt the world of professional wrestling and sports entertainment more than it has helped. It is the truth, and if you don't like it, that's your own fault. That was the best promo of the night, and the best promo I've heard in a while, other than maybe Samoa Joe, but he's gone for now because of an injury, and that's sad too. Let me see here. Elias came out and he sang a song. First things first. He says, "I hope Michael Cole is." I keep on saying this. I always want to say Adam Cole instead of Michael Cole and vice versa. I don't know why. First things first. I hope Michael Cole is okay. He's out for two things: to teach us a lesson that WWE stands for, and the crowd says, "Walk with Elias," which I didn't think about that until he started saying it. But yeah, that's kind of funny. And he says, "Don't you forget it." The other reason the Rumble is on the horizon. There are so many superstars involved. He names off like Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, and others. And he said, but he's concerned about one star. And he wrote a song, and it goes like this. He sang, I believe they have it. Yes, they do. Okay.
Tens of millions of people have
Who wants to walk with Elias? Now, first things first, I hope Michael Cole is okay. But I'm here tonight for two reasons. The first is to teach you all a lesson. And once you absorb this lesson, your lives will be better for it immediately. And that lesson is that WWE stands for. Don't you ever forget it. The other reason is that I'm here to remind you all that the Royal Rumble is on the horizon. Now, there are many superstars involved. Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, Randy Orton. But I'm more concerned with one superstar. In fact, I went ahead and wrote a song, and it goes like this. Talked to my father, told him I hope John Cena comes my way. I've got retribution for him for what he did on Christmas Day. I'll eliminate John Cena.
Elias is just so good on the microphone when it comes to his singing. It really is.
Drown his sorrows with 29 more. It's the Royal Rumble, and Elias will prevail. Unlike the Spurs, who are desperate to fail.
Well, the typical heel and talking crap on the sports team of the arena they usually play in.
The Spurs can't do nothing to me, okay? Now I need everybody to listen up because I was paid a significant amount of money for this next part. Don't adjust your sets. What you're seeing is real. No, it's certainly not a mirage. Coming to you, he's A-list. He's must-see. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Miz.
He's the Miz, and he will go down against Roman Reigns next week like each and every one before him. Then came the cookie cutter match of the night. You know, the simple Roman Reigns gets his butt whipped half the time, and then he wins the match with the ducking and clotheslining, hitting a spear off the ropes for a 3 count, this time on Curtis Axel. He wins the match, of course. Who else? There was, towards the end of the match, he hits a Superman punch on Bo Dallas on the outside. He grabs the Miz, throws the Miz in the ring. He throws the Miz in the ring. Miz escapes. Roman grabs him by the coat. Miz was able to get out of the coat, and Curtis Axel rolled him up. Now, if he would have lost that way, if he would have actually got pinned, it wouldn't have been like, oh my God, he got pinned. He can't. His momentum's dead. No, it would have been he got pinned by nefarious means, which would have meant that he was going to win next week anyway, even though he's going to win anyway. Before we go on, a lot of things were popping up on my YouTube feed today, which were reactions to Roman Reigns winning coming out at number 30 last year at the Royal Rumble. And these reactions were just so hilarious, man. Yet Vince McMahon thinks Roman Reigns is the most over guy in the company, when these reactions that I saw, and there was a good bit of them, prove that he is not the most over man in the company. That's Daniel Bryan. That has always been Daniel Bryan, way before Roman Reigns was even on WWE TV, and it will continue to be Daniel Bryan until he leaves WWE, which is going to probably be in September. We talked about that this past weekend. Make sure to go check that video out if you would like to see what my thoughts are on that and a whole bunch of other topics I talked about on the news, rumors, and predictions, which I'm working on a name for that because the news, rumors, and predictions it does not roll off the tongue. Then we had Sasha Banks with Bayley and Mickie James versus Sonya Deville with Paige and Mandy Rose. How many times, may I ask, how many times will these 5 women now because Paige is injured, but how many times are these 2 groups of women going to wrestle each other before WWE looks up and is like, can't we do anything else? I know Asuka's off doing whatever, but you can't have Asuka versus Sonya Deville, or Asuka versus Mandy Rose, or Asuka versus Mickie James. Why hasn't Mickie been squashed by Asuka yet? Somebody tell me that. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. Tom Phillips, like I said earlier in this match, did mention, at the start, due to a neck injury, Paige will not compete in the Women's Royal Rumble match, which a lot of people are assuming that she's just injured and she's not done. They're not going to do it that way. They are not. They are going to have her come out and say, due to this, I cannot wrestle for WWE anymore, so I have to retire as an in-ring worker, which I'm pretty sure is coming in the next Raw 25 or a little bit after that. Sonya Deville versus Sasha Banks. I will have to say, and I didn't notice this last week, but Sonya Deville, with her hair down, looks way better than she does, and just in the ring, and it makes her look better overall. Was when her hair is actually down and it's not in that braids or anything else. She looks really great with the hair down, and actually makes her look. It makes her look a lot cool, she looks a lot cuter, okay? She looks a lot cuter with the hair down, just in my opinion. Match ends, and this was really an interesting way to end this match. Sasha Banks is on the top rope. She goes to do, looks like some kind of, senton or splash or something off the top rope. Sonya Deville is standing there, gives her a kick in the ribs. Looks like her boot hit the one rib on Sasha Banks' side, and she pins her 1, 2, 3. I was surprised that match ended that way. It ended in such quick fashion. I figured she would put her in some kind of submission or something. Maybe because Asuka's doing this whole submission thing, beat everybody with an armbar, that she would They're not going to have anyone else usually in the women's division do that. In the back, we see Seth Rollins and getting ready for his match. Seth tells Jason he's got to be a team. He can't just keep speaking on his behalf. He's not his spokesperson. He's his teammate. He doesn't have a problem with him actually going and get the match for him because Seth Rollins was not happy with how Jason Jordan has been acting. Jason Jordan was like, I'll just go to my dad and cancel the match. He's like, no, I do have unfinished business with Finn Balor, but I would like to at least be able to have it. Pretty much say, we should talk about this stuff before you actually go and make matches, and don't speak on my behalf. I can speak for myself. I wish he would have said, I can speak for myself. I'm not Brock Lesnar. I have a voice, because that would have just made it more funny. Woken Matt Hardy versus Heath Slater. Woken Matt Hardy does have his own Titantron, and he has a nice new nameplate. The red glass, it says Matt Hardy. It doesn't say Woken Matt Hardy, but it says Matt Hardy, and then it breaks and disappears. I thought that was pretty cool. It's really cool when you see like the names that are actually going to do something actually have their own custom thing, like Elias does, or Matt Hardy now does, or Bray Wyatt, or The Undertaker, or Triple H I think has his own too. I could be wrong. Those ones are pretty cool. It really just makes it more unique for each superstar as they come to the ring. Match ends with a side effect for a 2 count. Matt Hardy's like he needs to be deleted. Hits a couple hits, like start doing the whole delete, head bouncing off the turnbuckles over and over. All 3 of them. Then hits the twist of fate after he says, "This is over" for the 1, 2, 3, and the winner is Woken Matt Hardy. No interaction or anything from Bray Wyatt this week, so I don't know what's going on there. Nothing at all. So maybe we'll see something at the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw next week. I do not know. Then we got the official announcement of Bill Goldberg going into the Hall of Fame. Once again, congratulations to him. And we are going to be in for quite a treat, I'm sure, at the Hall of Fame on April 6, 2018. Then we had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, which was the final match of the night. Finn Balor, this was a pretty good match. It was a decent match. The Balor Club and Jason Jordan were all 3 out there for this match. Balor with a running kick towards, he's standing on the apron, Seth Rollins outside. Hit him with that beautiful running kick. Back from break, we get a blockbuster by Seth Rollins. He looks like he tweaked his knee. From this point on, after the blockbuster, Seth Rollins' knee did play a factor in this match. He did, not too long after this, got Finn Balor outside, hits him with a suicide dive, and he starts favoring his knee again. So, more attention to that. This was a pretty cool move too. Finn Balor goes for a sling blade. Seth Rollins counters it and hits his own sling blade. Then Balor gets back up after that, hits his own sling blade on Rollins. Rollins gets up and hits a super kick that I actually had to watch on the replay because I turned my head for a second and I just heard the kick and it was for a 2 count. Seth goes for a Phoenix Splash. Finn with a drop kick to the corner on top of the turnbuckle. Beautiful move. I love this move when Seth Rollins does it, and he does it with and it usually always seems to be he does it with one leg because his one leg always ends up getting injured. On top of the turnbuckles going for the coup de grace, Seth Rollins comes up, hits a superplex, and then rolls into that Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. Frog Splash. This is where the match gets controversial. Seth Rollins is on the top rope, goes for a frog splash. I think he hesitated for a minute, and that's why. Balor gets his knees up, rolls Seth Rollins up, gets a 3.5 count, but the referee only says it's a 2. I don't know what happened there, but that was a major botch. The Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are like, what's going on? It looked like the match was over. You see 1, it goes 2, 3, and then he does the count, and I'm like, what just happened? He hit a 3 count. They even show the replay after the match is over, and Seth Rollins lost this match from that 3 count, but they botched it. So we'll probably see a rematch on the Raw 25. I'm not sure. Towards the end of the match, the Bar come out, start chasing down Jason Jordan, gets him in between him and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. that Sheamus, I believe, goes to attack Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan ducks out of the way. The Bar and the Good Brothers, as they usually call themselves, start brawling. Jason Jordan somehow gets to the other side. Finn Balor with that beautiful dive over the top ropes, which he does a lot, and when it comes to a big match like this, match ends with Finn Balor going for a coup de grace. He misses, goes to bounce off the ropes to hit Seth Rollins with something. Jason Jordan on the outside trips Finn Balor, and this is what I think actually, and I believe that he got injured from this spot. Seth Rollins hits him with a curb stomp. Yes, the curb stomp was brought back. I don't think it was meant to be brought back. I'm not sure. But he hits the curb stomp, gets the 3 count, and Seth Rollins is your winner. And you could just tell. This looks like he had a legitimate concussion. But Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they stopped the music. You have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows trying to pull him up. I thought, oh, they're just going to do this whole entire, they're going to turn on him immediately and just make this a 3-week run of the Balor Club. But they're trying to get him up. He's having so much trouble trying to get up. I feel he got a concussion. And there was a reason they banned the move in the first place. And it looks like he was hurt very badly. I don't know if it is a true injury, but it looks like it was a bad spot. Hopefully he's okay. We don't need to see another injury happen, because that would mean Dean Ambrose, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe all off the Royal Rumble card, and that would just be a damn shame. Hopefully he won't be injured. Hopefully it was just him playing up the curb stomp, because the curb stomp looks like a devastating move. But if it's not legitimate, that was a hell of a sell job, because that looked so badly, so bad. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping we'll see him next week and we'll see him in the Royal Rumble. But if this guy got injured off of a curb stomp, there's a reason it was banned back in I think it was right after WrestleMania 31, or I think right after WrestleMania 31 or WrestleMania 32, it was banned, and it needs to stay banned, because if Finn Balor got injured again to Seth Rollins, that's not good. Last time it was for a bigger stakes than it is now, but still, that is not a good thing. So, overall, first hour of Raw, just great. It was the Braun Strowman show. Braun Strowman was all over the first hour of Raw. I wish it would have went the entire show, and the whole Braun Strowman gets rehired was after, the very last thing you would have saw before he threw Michael Cole through something other than just into a bunch of people. What will we see next week on Monday Night Raw? Well, 3 hours. 5 hours overall if you're in the New York City area. 2 hours for content at the Barclays Center. 3 hours of content at the 2 hours. It's actually 2 hours at the Manhattan Center. 3 hours at the Barclays Center. We will only see 1 hour of it from the Manhattan Center, and we'll only see 2 hours from the Barclays Center. Next week's gonna be crazy. They did say a lot of the women from the Ruthless Aggression era, from Michelle McCool to Kelly Kelly to the Bella Twins, who really cares. All I know is this coming Monday next week is one of those weeks that you warrant a 3-hour Raw, because it's a celebration. They put all their eggs into the basket, into this show to make it the best show that they can, because they're gonna have all these legends back. Will it be a good show? Probably not. We'll probably see Stephanie McMahon come back. Of course, we'll see Stephanie. Probably see Vince too, because it is the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, which of course was 5 days ago, actually, if anybody wants to see the history. Monday Night Raw debuted on January 11, 1993. So the fact that they're waiting another 11 days is beyond me, but hey, it is what it is. But that is your Monday Night Raw review. I'll be back here tomorrow for SmackDown Live, where we will see 2 U.S. Championship title tournament matches, where we'll see Jinder Mahal versus Xavier Woods, which I predict that he is going to win that match, and Bobby Roode versus Mojo Rawley, which I predict Bobby Roode will win that match. My problem with this, I like tournaments. Tournaments are great when they do them right. I like unpredictability in tournaments, where you say, oh, well, if this was in a good tournament, Xavier Woods versus Jinder Mahal, I think Jinder Mahal is going to win because it makes sense, and then Xavier Woods pulls up the upset. We won't see that in this tournament just because it is a on TV tournament. The only ones who've done tournament rights in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years are the Cruiserweight Classic and the Mae Young Classic, and those were produced by Triple H. But I'm going to get out of here. I will be back tomorrow, so we'll see you guys then. Make sure to have a good afternoon, evening, or night whenever you see this. Follow me on Twitter at TheFranz. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFranz08 during the day, every single day. I'm in the middle of a shiny hunt in Pokemon Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X, Y, and Ultra Moon, where I'm trying to get 100 shinies in 1 year. Yes, it's not wrestling, but it's something else for me to do. You guys have fun, and I will see you guys later. Make sure to go check out my news, rumors, and predictions of last week, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace